What up, geeks? This is Lil. I'm doing an unboxing video. This might become a series of things that I'm going to be doing with some retro gaming stuff, and I wanted to start out with something that I just purchased that I haven't talked about. It's something that I've been seeing videos on, been very curious on, but I wanted to dip my toes in it because I'm again a big fanboy of regular NES, the Game Boy, Super Nintendo, all those retro systems. And I have like a Retron 5 that I use sometimes, because I do have every system hooked up, but I like to go to the Retron 5 because I don't want to kind of continue to beat down the older systems, but I do like playing games on official systems or official controllers. But this one is not an official system, but it's something very cool and very interesting that I wanted to get my hands on and try it out. And that is from a company called ModRetro, and it's called the Chromatic. So it's a Game Boy Color with a really nice screen. It's got they've got their own library. They're releasing their own games. This actually comes with their own version of Tetris, which is very similar to the NES version of Tetris, but has some upgrades. They're re-releasing and also creating their own games for this. So I was very intrigued because I like playing modern style games, but retro. We're getting kind of, it feels like, with the beat 'em ups that are coming out with the Turtles beat 'em up. They have a G.I. Joe one, the Marvel one that's coming out. We're going back to that old style of gaming, just in a modern take. So I was really intrigued by the Chromatic, especially I like the colors. I like the bright screen that it comes with. I don't have all the detailed information. I might go into that a little bit later, but I just wanted to do a quick unboxing and kind of go over my initial thoughts. And then the cool thing about this, and which we'll go through this video hopefully, is if I can figure it out right, is it actually directly connects to a USB-C, so you can actually stream the gameplay. So I can actually show you some of the gameplay footage from a game that I picked up for it as well that came today, Tales of Monsterland DX. So I'm not sure of this series. I have not heard of it, but it's a full color game, 4 magical forms to the world, fight in the hidden world, original chiptune soundtrack, unlockable classic views, suitable for all ages, and featuring battery less saving. So you get savings on this. So let's open up the ModRetro, see what comes inside, see if it's worth it. So this version that I got the cheaper version. There's 2 versions. There's this one, and this is actually their second release of it. I didn't think I was going to get one of these because it sold out pretty quickly, and then they decided to do a second release with some more colors. So it's a really nice box, actually. Like, it folds open. I got the green, the leaf green. I'm always a fan of that. And it's got a code on the front. We'll take that off the screen. So I didn't get there's a sapphire screen, which is supposed to be really strong and sturdy, but I didn't think I needed that. So this one's $199 with Tetris and everything else. The other one with I believe it's sapphire, is $299, and I felt that it wasn't. I didn't specifically need that. I didn't need it. I'm gonna have a case for it if I travel with it. I'm very protective of all my gear. So it's got it's a very nice shell. It's kind of metallic. So I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a nice shell. They do sell, and I didn't purchase it yet because I want to see how in I am in on all this. But they do sell like a battery charging pack because they have a USB-C port here, which you can put in a battery pack. And I think the battery pack's only like $30, but it only takes 3 AA batteries, and I'm glad. I think I brought 3 up here. Oh, it actually comes with their own. So they do have their own ModRetro AAA batteries. And also in the bottom of the box here, as you can see, there's a little tray pulled out, tray that I pulled out, and it has the Tetris for it, and then batteries. So it's kind of all it comes with. So I mean, you can learn all about it. There's a QR code there where you can take that. There's you can upgrade your firmware for it. So my guess is they're going to be doing a lot of updates to this system. So it says it's compatible with the original Game Boy Color cartridges. Experience your classic games with pixel perfect accuracy on Chromatic's custom Sunlight readable display, built to last with a lightweight, durable magnesium alloy shell. Stream live, as I was saying. Play multiplayer. I think you can buy a multiplayer just like the Game Boy. There was, yep, see, it's got on the side there. The original Game Boy and Game Boy Color had these connectors, and I have one actually for the Game Boy. I'm wondering if it fits, so I'll have to test that later. And powered by AA batteries, and there's also, like I said, a rechargeable core that you can purchase. And like I said, if I'm all in on this and I'm going to end up ordering more games through them, I probably order that battery pack as well. But yeah, let's get some batteries in this thing and fire it up and see how it looks. See if you guys can see the screen just from me holding it up before I have to, go into a different mode to share the screen. But let's see. I'm blind. I'm losing my vision, so I do not know where anything goes anymore. I can't read. I am an old man. We're going to be changing the show's name pretty soon to the Geezers, because that's how I feel sometimes, and I don't really like to wear my glasses. So, yeah, you know how it is. I'm sure everybody out there knows how it is. All right, so I got the batteries in. Okay, so this is a. I don't know how to put this back. Okay, there you go. I always have struggling with the back piece. Tetris going in, and let's turn this bad boy on. That is loud. There you go. You can see. Got its own version of Tetris. Got a new player. Put your name in. You can. I don't know why I won't. I'm trying to go to done. They got different marathon, ultra, sprint, and endless, so you can see how far you can go. I used to love this, man. When I was a kid, Tetris was probably my favorite game on the Game Boy. So, yeah, it's that really nice screen. So, what we'll do at this point is, maybe we'll see if any of my Game Boy games are clean right now. We'll test one of those to see how that looks. I got here, Pokemon Red, I think. Yeah, Pokemon Red. So I'm not a big Pokemon guy. I got this for really, really cheap a long, long time ago before everything went crazy price-wise. So let's see. Let's see if this fires up. Kind of. It's getting a terrible glare. So I'll have to do the screen share for sure. Yeah. So there we go. We got Pokemon. So that's working. And then I guess let's check out the Tales of Monsterland box. And then what we'll do is try to go into some gameplay so you guys can see what these games look like, especially these two. If you're interested in a ModRetro Chromatic, I'm mainly interested in not only for their games, but to play all the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Again, like I said, I have multiple Game Boys, multiple Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Lights, and everything, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't want to damage them. I love that it comes in these little boxes because these can go right on the shelf. So it comes with a little tray for the game. The game is clear. It's a clear game. Pretty cool. It's got their little logo, ModRetro. You can see on the top there. It comes with a charm. That's interesting. Got a little charm guy here, a little pixelated. Looks like the main character. I wonder if all the games come with charms. I do not know. And what I love, again, old school, we have a manual. So I mean, for me, this is the best. I used to read the manuals all the time. Unfortunately for me, I threw many out. So, but going back and collecting them back. So, all right, let's take a quick look at Monsterland, and then what we'll do here is we'll go into potentially. It says music by Incognito. So, and you want to notice? I think there's a little plastic film here. Am I missing a little plastic? Maybe that's why it's giving a glare. Ooh, yeah. You know, the satisfying. Nah, it's still. Tales of Monsterland. You can't see it very. The screen is, but that's okay. You know, I don't have a camera. I'm using my laptop camera. But what I'll do is I'll connect it to a USB, and we'll do some screen share, and you know, hopefully from there we can show some more games, show how this plays, and you know, was it worth it? Sorry, I'm a little bit late. It's the next day recording this, so but I wanted to try to, you know, figure out this, get some of the gameplay footage so you guys can see what it looks like. So the Mod Chromatic actually has some display features here. You know, you can change the brightness, you can change the display. Like we have it right now, it's streaming. It's why it's you can see the second screen. Also, the controls allow all directions, ignore diagonals. So when you're doing on the D-pad, and then also firmware updates and all that kind of stuff with it, which is kind of cool. You know, it's able to do that. So here's just some footage of Tetris, just so you guys can see kind of their version of Tetris. It's very similar to the NES version of Tetris, just very crisp. Picture quality is great. I was playing this kind of last night, just kind of chilling. Kind of do love Tetris, so it's I know I'm an old man, and that's what you get. So you know, it's not going to be very easy to follow playing it on the big screen like this, but like, you know, you guys see it, and I wanted to give you kind of a test before I start reviewing and capturing some gameplay footage on the major parts of the games, especially the Mod Chromatic games. I think I'm going to do a review series on those as I start to collect more and more of these, but I do want to go over a review Game Boy games, see if they're worth collecting in today's collecting and playing, you know, because that's the big thing. Like, I'm a big collector. I don't play as much as I used to, as much as I want to. This, you know, things get in the way. I love, you know, retro gaming, but again, I still don't play it enough. I'm, you know, and even my wife tells me I need to play it more. So this is a good way for me to kind of go through and see, you know, in 2025, if this stuff is worth investing in. Because you know what, video games and stuff are investments. Like, as much as we, you know, and not to say investments to sell, but like, retro games aren't cheap. I mean, you can find some cheap games, but some of the cheap games that you find aren't really worth playing. So we're gonna be going through this series of stuff. But you know, so I just want to kind of give you a look at that. Let's kind of see how you know, a Game Boy game looks as we do that as well. Oh, there you go. You got a full screen now, Pokemon, so you can see how Pokemon Red looks like on here, so you don't have to see my dumb face throughout the game. I don't remember. Oh, I guess I did start playing this. Start a new game so everybody can see the beginning pieces, because I don't want to really start playing. I just want to just kind of give you guys a little show of what we got going on here. So this is Pokemon Red for the Game Boy. And I believe that this color rendering is not accurate, but it's very similar to what like the Game Boy Game Player would do for these games. So, you know, here, you know, Ash. Yeah, so I mean, it's really, this thing is an investment here. So you know, I just wanted to make sure before you purchase it that I can show it off. Let me try the other game I have from Mod Chromatic. This one is the Tales of Monsterland DX. Again, I'm going to do reviews of these, and you know, as we go through this series, we'll definitely kind of get into kind of more into the gameplay and how the game plays, and is it fun? Is it worth your investment? But you know, we'll see. So this came out in 2024. I had not started playing this yet, so I was intrigued because I love side scrollers, adventure games, Monsterland. Again, I don't know if there was an original Monsterland, but Must have been, because this says Monsterland DX. So I'm guessing this is a deluxe version of the game that must have been released at some point. I have to do, again, I didn't do research yet. This is just about the mod Chromatic itself. And just to kind of give you guys a little bit of gameplay for this. So, all right, yeah, you're playing this little dude. And okay, so it's kind of I go into this house. No, there's a cat on top of the roof there. That's kind of cool. Let's see, this is open. Okay, speak to the old man before we go into the house. All right, well. I was hoping that, rather than kind of going through all this stuff, I would have been able to show kind of some of the fighting and stuff. So I need a sword, so I guess I do need to go back. Okay. But there you go. Tales of Monsterland. Again, like I said, I'll go through more of it later, but it looks cool. I am intrigued. I like these type of games. But yeah, this is really nice. It's, if you want to either start collecting for the Game Boy, or if you want to just start collecting for ModRetro games, or just look at some of the new games that are out that they're releasing, and they're re-releasing some old versions of games as well. They got the licenses for that, or like this one, I think is an old game, but maybe a deluxe version of that old game. It's cool. And what I want to use it for, because I have a Game Boy, I have a Game Boy Color, I have a Game Boy Light, I have a Game Boy, I have multiple Game Boys. But I'm going to use this for, Game Boy Color and Game Boy games to play, to hopefully do some streaming with, so you guys can, get some review videos, as well as kind of like my carry around. Because like I like to display my systems. I like to like not play them as much, because they're old. They get beat up. Most of the Game Boys I have are kind of beaten up. I don't have like a mint condition Game Boy, but this thing does its job, does what it's supposed to do. And it's my nostalgia. It's what I love playing. I sank hundreds of hours into the original Game Boy, just playing Tetris. Was it Super Mario Land? I have it down there. I have to go through, but it's all this fun stuff. And there's a bunch of, I have a bunch of the Spider-Man games, Donkey Kong Country for Game Boy. So yeah, if you're into that stuff, this is for you. If you're not, there's probably, I think Analogue made the Analogue Pocket that plays 3 different systems, and it's a little bit bigger. I like kind of the form of this, because it is almost identical size to a Game Boy Color. It's heavy though. It is very heavy, and this is without the battery pack. So I'm curious if the battery pack is going to be heavier. But I like it so far. I'll talk about it more down the road. Maybe do another video after I get a lot more games, a lot more gameplay into this. But if you're wanting to play Game Boy, if you want to play Game Boy Color, especially Game Boy Color looks perfect on this. The color, I think the color rendition is great. Very bright, backlit. Just like with anything else, the backlit LCD screens are going to give you kind of a little bit of a twinge of color. So if you're going to compare this exactly to your Game Boy Color, you might see a little bit of the colors being a little bit off, but not by much. And maybe I'll do a comparison one day of that. But for me, the Mod Chromatic, it's a win. It's a hero. I've played this now for a few hours, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, comment if you've picked up one of these. Please like, subscribe. Let me know also what you've thought about the Mod Chromatic. Or if you're interested in it and you have some questions, put those also in the chat, and I'll try to respond to all those. If you have any questions about how it works, how it renders things, how it captures video, whatever, I'll definitely try to get back to that. And until next time, keep it geeky.